Everybody, some would say I'm the reverse, and welcome to my review for Legends of Tomorrow, Season 5, Episode 2, titled Miss Me, Kiss Me, Love Me. Let's get into this with my thoughts. I thought this was an annoying and a frustrating episode because last week we had a fairly good episode, to be honest. Um, Not a lot of people enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Goofy in the episode. This week, I uh, I really didn't. I really did not enjoy this episode as much as last week's. I just really thought the characters were annoying this week. Some of the characters, and the plot was just really not interesting at all. And I wasn't having a fun time watching this. So let's start off. Let's just talk about the main thing from this episode. The main thing to take away from it, which is Zari. Um, Obviously, Zari's been erased from the timeline, or the, not erased, but she doesn't exist within like the legends, and she never has. She's just Bayrod's sister, and Nate and Bayrod go to Bayrod's house because it's his father's birthday, and Zari's there, and she is basically this online streamer superstar. It wasn't really explained, but she's a famous person and she's very snotty. She's very popular, and she looks a little bit different. She has brown hair instead of the black. She's a little bit more tan and stuff like that. She's got a lot of makeup on, and I really do not like this version of Zari. Obviously, she's gonna be back to the normal Zari, but I really don't like this version at all. She's just really unlikable. But obviously, Nate recognizes her from somewhere, from that message, and she recognizes him actually, which I didn't expect to happen, and they're about to kiss because she remembers him kind of. Um, so yeah. Um, there's also the totem in this episode, which is it's a family heirloom. We knew this already, but Barot's parents think that it's sort of that it's missing or that it's gone, and he sort of has to hide that he has it. So yeah. Um, what else we got from that little storyline? Um, Zari knew that he stole the totem, um, and she has a grudge against him basically. Um, but yeah. Uh, Next, let's talk about another part of the episode that I didn't like, and that's Ava. She sucked in this episode. I'm sorry, but I really did not like her in this episode. I didn't mind the fact that she's trying to find herself a place in the on the team. She's struggling, having a hard time figuring out what to do, and what she's like the what's the meaning of her being on this team? What's the point? Um, and I didn't have a problem with that, but as soon as she started drinking and she was singing up on the mic, that's when it went downhill. It was so annoying and frustrating. Just, I don't know why they portrayed her, drunk Ava, over the top, like super over the top. I really liked Drunk Barry. Um, Worst episode of The Flash ever was Girls' Night Out, season 4, episode 5. But from that episode, we had a storyline where Barry got drunk, and it was absolutely hilarious in a good way because it wasn't over the top. It felt like it felt natural, really, but it was still funny. This this does not feel like that. This just feels over the top. It feels way too goofy, and yeah, I just hated it. Um, Rory was also part of Ava's storyline, but he wasn't really there much. He was sort of sidelined in the episode. Let's talk about the main storyline. So after after last episode, Constantine went to hell. I actually thought that he was going to be leaving the show for a little while. I was obviously wrong. He's back in this episode. So he goes to hell and he talks to Astrologue. If you don't remember who that is, she's the main villain of this season, basically. I believe she's the main villain. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but apparently she's going to be the main villain of season 5, which I'm not really looking forward to. I don't like her very much, but he talks to her. He wants to convert her back to being good, but he can't really do that because she doesn't want to. She's basically evil, which makes sense. She's spent years in hell since when she was a child and since when she was put there by Constantine, so it makes sense. Um, she's most likely going to be redeemed by the end of the season. I can already see it coming. Constantine's going to be able to resurrect her. This is Legends after all. This is a very light show. They're not just going to kill her off. Um, yeah, they're going to resurrect, or not resurrect her. What am I talking about? Reform her, or like turn her back to being good. I don't know. Um, but our main encore of the week, I guess that's what we're calling them, is Bugsy Siegel. I haven't really heard of him. Obviously, all these people are from real life, which I don't really like that much because I like when they do DC characters like Vandal Savage and stuff like that, even though he wasn't good. Um, but I like when they do bring in DC characters for this. I wish they just had like time quakes. That's just what they were hunting. They weren't actually hunting people, and people from real life. It's not creative at all. They just find someone who looks like them, who isn't necessarily a great actor, and they just make us a crappy storyline out of it, and I don't really like that. But Bugsy Siegel is our encore of the week. He's basically a mobster that died, and yeah, he has this magical gun that he got from hell when Astra released his soul from the soul exchange thing. And it basically disintegrates people. It's like the gun on Mandalorian, if you know, if you've seen that show, but it's a pistol. And he also has a bunch of blackmail on a bunch of people in the city, so he's super powerful. He has like he's in control of the entire town and stuff like that. Constantine wants to get the gun and use it on Astra. Ray is trying to convince him not to. Um, he wants Constantine to give Astra a chance because of like Nora and what happened last season. Um, but they all meet back up at the club to handle Bugsy. Sarah she's playing this role, trying to sway him and stuff like that. We also had Bugsy's girlfriend in this episode, um, and she's trying to get away from Bugsy, and she has a little bit of romance with Constantine, and Constantine's helping her. She ends up dying at the end. Her car explodes, which didn't really expect. Probably the best moment of the episode was when her car exploded and she died. Um, but that's not saying much. This episode really wasn't very impressive. Um, uh, but they defeat Bugsy. I can't even remember how they defeat him, but they defeat him, and oh yeah, he uses one of the bullets to kill Bugsy instead of Astra, which will come back to bite him most likely when Astra is the main villain. She's causing some chaos and stuff. Um, at the end of the episode, Zari uh, is brought to the Wave Rider, and she says, "Who the hell are you people?" And she's screaming, and that's stupid. I really did not like the ending of this episode. Not that it's not that Zari getting brought to the Wave Rider is a bad thing. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. Just her scream was so over the top, just like a lot of other stuff in this episode. Her scream was so over the top, and it was just annoying. Yeah, it's just a nitpick, but I thought I'd just put it out there. Short review today. Not very impressed with this episode. I'd probably give it maybe like a 7 point something out of 10. Um, I'm usually pretty generous on this channel. Uh, I like to give episodes higher scores than they probably should. And this is one of those cases. I don't hate the episode. I won't dread it when I have inevitably go back to rewatch this season. eventually, whenever I do, when it's over, I won't have a terrible time watching it. Like some of the worst episodes of the entire Arrowverse, like I dread watching them. Like some of the season 4 stuff from last season, the goofiness they have in there is just hard to watch. This episode's not doesn't fall into that category, but it's just not impressive. There's nothing really interesting about this episode. We all knew Zari was going to come back. This is just the first step to that. That's basically it. But yeah, tell me in the comments if I forgot anything. Um I really did not like this episode very much, so that's probably why I forgot a lot about it. I just watched it like an hour before recording this too. That's the thing. So yeah, probably like a 7.5, 7.6 out of 10. Not very impressed with this episode. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my review. Put down in the comments what you thought, what you liked, what you disliked. Did you like this episode, or did you dislike it? Do you like it better than last week's episode? Um, if you want, you can rank the 3 episodes of this season. Episode 0, the Crisis episode. Episode 1, last week's, and episode 2, this week's. Um, for me, I'd say this is definitely the worst. I probably put episode 1 in second place, episode 0 in third place, just because it is Crisis, and it was a good episode of Crisis. But yeah, just put all your thoughts in the comments. Um, like for these reviews, I don't care how long your comment is. Just put everything you think about the episode. Um, and yeah, I just really want to see what other people think about the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See ya.